12 years of being a Zelda fan, playing almost every single game, and it all comes down to this moment. Ranking every Zelda game in a tier list! Alright, I know what you're thinking. Mr. Nice Guy, isn't this a lazy video idea? Yes, it is. But here we are on Tier List Maker. You guys are probably familiar with this. Thousands, if not millions of YouTubers have made videos. Are there even a million people who make YouTube? Probably. We are on Tier List Maker, and we have this beautiful pre-made tier list for us with all of these Zelda games. And when I say all, I mean all, even, I don't know what that is. Starting off with the first Zelda game, Zelda 1 on the NES. Where is this one gonna go? Now, obviously, I have to give some props for this game. This is the game that started it all. This is the game that created this franchise. But, I don't think it held up that well. I mean, it's super impressive for the time. Like, let's think about this. The game came out in the 80s on the NES, and it's like an open world game, basically. You can go anywhere you want to, but it's very confusing. They don't really tell you where to go, what to do. You just gotta figure that all out yourself. Also, there's instances where there's like, the secret entrances to like caves. You have to like blow up these random walls that never in a million years you would have to figure out those walls can be blown up because there's no indicator like in the modern Zelda games how there's always cracks in the wall kind of hitting you to blow up that wall. Or maybe there's a tree you have to burn down. Basically, to figure these things out, people have to like just blow up everything or set everything on fire and hopefully they'll find a secret somewhere. It's very confusing. This game is like impossible. Sorry, I can't speak. I know I'm a YouTuber, but I'm not good at speaking. It's like impossible to figure anything out in this game, and I would highly recommend, if you ever want to play this game, use a guide. So, obviously, like I said, I gotta get props for being so influential and so revolutionary for its time, but it's not that great. I'm gonna give it a C. It's not a D tier because for the time it's great, but yeah, nothing special. Next up, we have Zelda 2. I actually recently played through this game on my live streams. I called it the hardest Zelda game of all time, and I still stand by that. This game is incredibly hard. It suffers from a lot of the same issues as the first Zelda game, where it's very confusing on what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go. I would not, again, recommend playing this game without using a guide, but I think they improved it a little bit because they added towns in this game. This is the first Zelda game with towns. You can talk to the NPCs, and some of the NPCs will give you hints on what you're supposed to do. And this game also suffers from instances of like, how are you supposed to know to do this? It's very confusing, and sometimes there's walls you can just walk through. How are you supposed to know that you walk through the wall right here? Like, what is that bullcrap? It's some really silly game design stuff. Back in the 80s, it was a lawless land back then, and modern game design rules weren't a thing. You're probably thinking Mr. Nice Guy's gonna put this at D. But no, putting this actually, putting this at C, above Zelda 1. And here's why. I think the game's more fun than Zelda 1. And video games, as Reggie Fils-Aimé famously once said,
if it's not fun, why bother?
They really changed up the gameplay with Zelda 2, making that, it's got like more of an RPG, where you run into enemies in the overworld, then you go down to this like battle screen, it's like a 2D platformer battles, and I find that actually a lot of fun. And there's this XP system where you have to level up, and you learn spells, and you can upgrade your magic meter and your life meter. I think that's a lot of fun, even if the game is totally bullcrap. Next up we have... Those logos are so similar. The first one is A Link to the Past, because that game came out first, and this is Link's Awakening, but they're basically the same logo here. So Link to the Past. I did play this game, and I played it for the very first time on the Wii U Virtual Console, I think when did I stream? I did a stream playthrough on this game. I think back in 2019 it was. My take on this game might be a little spicy. I think this game is incredibly influential. It basically invented the modern Zelda form. Well, okay, maybe not the modern Zelda formula. The modern Zelda formula is Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, which is very different from this game. But this game would influence basically every Zelda game that came after it with its formula, like Ocarina of Time. You go to the dungeons, you get items in the dungeons, you know the classic Zelda formula. This is the game that invented it. That is very important. I think the step up from Zelda 2 to this game is huge. I didn't find this game to be that fun. I'm not like a 2D Zelda game hater, because you'll see I love some of these 2D Zelda games that come up later, but this might be one of my least favorites of the 2D Zelda games, so I'm gonna put this in B tier. I think there's still a lot of bullcrap in this game and unfair stuff, and I think they really ironed out and improved the Zelda formula with future games, but I cannot deny how influential this game is. Next up, Link's Awakening. Now, we actually have the original Link's Awakening and the remake here, which is really strange, because I was looking at this. We have the remake of Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, there it is. But we don't have the remakes of Wind Waker or Twilight Princess in here. That's kind of strange. I played both the remake of Link's Awakening and the original version. I played this back on the 3DS Virtual Console, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this game more so than Link to the Past. But would I put this game in A tier? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna put it in B. Oh, wait, where did it go? Oh, it's right here. I can't tell between them. They look the same. Like, yeah, there we go. Okay. Link's Awakening in front of A Link to the Past, I think. Yeah, and I'll put the remake in A tier. I think that's fine. I think the remake improved it quite a bit. See, on the Game Boy, you were stuck with, like, just the A and the B button. So that involved you opening up the menu quite a bit and having to swap items all the time, which was fixed in the remake because, I mean, the Switch has way more buttons now. And also, there's a good amount of quality of life improvements, better graphics, and the new music is great, and a whole new dungeon builder mode in there that's nothing too special, but it's something. So definitely, I'd say it is quite a big leap ahead to put it in its own tier. Oh boy, let's see what's next. The CDI games, in which I have never played, but I think I'm gonna change that someday. I want to make a YouTube video playing these games. If you guys have no idea what these games are, these are infamously the worst Zelda games of all time. They're not made by Nintendo. A lot of Zelda fans do not consider them to be real Zelda games. People try to just forget these ever happened, but they did happen, and they were terrible. And I've never played them, but maybe, hopefully, one day I will. I'll torture myself for your guys' pleasure. This is another one of the CDI games, I think. But I don't know what these two games are. BS? I think these are like Japanese exclusives. I mean, judging by the picture, it's all in Japanese. BS Zelda, no, is this it? An expanded version of The Legend of Zelda that was released on Satellaview attachment for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in Japan. What? How have I, like, never, ever heard of this game before? I have been a Zelda fan for over a decade now, and I have never in my life heard of this game. Oh, it's like a remake of Zelda 1 on the Super Nintendo. But anyways, back to the tier list. We have, the legendary Ocarina of Time. Are we allowed to say anything, guys? Our first S tier. Can I put this in S tier? Because I actually have never played the original Nintendo 64 version of Ocarina of Time. I've only played the 3DS remake. So should I put this down here? Maybe that's better. Ocarina of Time 3D was one of the first Zelda games I ever played. I think it's the second Zelda game I ever played. My first Zelda game was Skyward Sword. Then I played Ocarina of Time. And when I beat Ocarina of Time, it was just like a life-changing experience. Same when I beat Skyward Sword, man. That's when I really fell in love with the Zelda series. After Skyward Sword and Ocarina of Time, these games were both fantastic. It's the very first 3D Zelda game, and the Zelda team absolutely nailed it. I know some people will be like, oh, they basically just took a Link to the Past and did it again, but this time in 3D. I mean, sure that the format is very much the same, but it's 3D, but I don't know, they just perfected it. They did such a great job for the very first 3D Zelda game, and the music is great, the atmosphere is great, everything about this game is fantastic. Oh yeah, and some people may say that Ocarina of Time did not hold up well. I have no idea. Maybe the Nintendo 64 version isn't that good, but the 3DS remake, I think that game holds up fantastically. The controls are great. Everything about the game is just, it's great. It's great. A lot of early 3D games from the 90s on the Nintendo 64 did not hold up that great, but I think Ocarina of Time did. Next up, we have Majora's Mask, and I'm a little bit scared right now to give my opinions on this game because I don't think people are gonna like my opinions on this game. I played the original on the Nintendo 64, but I played the Wii U Virtual Console version. I did not play the remake, so let's grab the remake right now and put that in the not played section. And I streamed my playthrough of this game, and I'm gonna be honest, you guys can probably tell by my tone, I didn't really enjoy the game all that much. I'm not a fan of time limits in my games, and especially when I'm doing a live stream playthrough where I'm already kind of playing in only this certain fraction of time that I have to stream, and now I have another time limit in game as well. So I'm balancing like 2 timers at the same time. Let's say you run out of time and like, oh, I don't have enough time to do this dungeon right now. I gotta wait, so I gotta go back in time. So I gotta run back to, you know, the town, deposit my rupees so I don't lose them, go back in time, back to day 1. Now I gotta go get my rupees again, gotta go buy more items again, and then run back all the way over to that dungeon. Now I finally have time to do it, and even if you go to that dungeon day 1, you're now under the stressful time limit of trying to beat this dungeon before time runs out, and that can be scary. The side content is great, of course. It's cool. Everybody has this, all the NPCs have this schedule that they follow, and that can also have some annoying things, because it's like, oh, I want to do this quest now, but I can't because it's only available on day 3. So now I have to play the song with double time and wait for that to happen, and finally the NPC, the quest is available, and yada yada yada. It's maybe this is just a Wii U emulator version, but the controls for aiming the camera were terrible. And I remember being inside of one of the dungeons, I don't remember which one it was, but I was aiming the mirror shield, and I get to reflect the lights, and I could not aim the freaking mirror shield correctly. The controls were just infuriating. It doesn't stay lit long enough because I can't get the right angle on it because aiming the light is impossible, and these guys are in my way. Are you kidding? What? How did that not do it? Come on! The atmosphere is good. The story's cool. It's pressing. I don't know where to put this. I think I would have definitely enjoyed this game more if I didn't stream it and I just played it on my free time. And maybe I may have enjoyed the remake even more because it would have fixed some of my issues with the game, with the whole controls issue. But I know some people say that the 3DS remake is worse than the original N64 version. It's not C tier worthy, but bottom of B tier. I think that's good. Next up, we have the Oracle games, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and I have not played these games. I actually have them on my 3DS. I'm still kind of holding out on hopefully they remake these games soon. Wait, didn't they add these games to the Switch online? I think they did. Maybe I'll stream them someday if they don't do a remake. This is Ocarina of Time, Master Quest, I think. I don't know much about this game. This was like a remake of Ocarina of Time done like the GameCube, and it has like new stuff to it. I never played it. Four Swords. So I always get Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures mixed up. So before I actually recorded this video, I had to look up what's the difference between Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures again, because I did play one of them and I wasn't sure which one I played. And it turns out the one I did play was Four Swords. I played this game on the 3DS, and it's nothing special. It's some simple stuff. It's not really like a traditional Zelda game. I don't remember it too much. I'm putting this, I'm putting it bottom of the seat there. Ooh, we got another goat on our hands. S tier. Wind Waker's great. Love that game. I'm a big fan of like the pirate themes and sailing on the ocean. This game just makes you feel like you're going on this grand adventure exploring the world. This is kind of like the first true, okay, I was gonna say the first true open world Zelda game, but the original Zelda game was actually open world, kind of. You can go anywhere you wanted to, but this is like kind of the first open world. This is open world-ish before Breath of the Wild was. And I never played the original GameCube version. I did play the Wii U remake, and it is fantastic. I have an entire playthrough of this game on my YouTube channel. Feel free to dig down deep into my YouTube channel, into the crevices of darkness, and find a very old playthrough of mine from 2015 or so. I think I'll put it below Ocarina of Time. I didn't really enjoy the temples that much in this game. Temples are one of my favorite parts of Zelda games, and I think the temples were kind of lacking in this game. But everything else, really great. I love the whole, like, plot twist, and when you go down beneath the ocean and you find Hyrule Castle down there, everything's black and white because time has been stopped, and it's such a cool... That's a cool moment, and even the ending of this game, the final boss fight, so cool, so cool. I didn't play this game. This is Four Swords Adventure. This is basically a sequel to Four Swords on the GameCube, and never played it. Minish Cap. I love myself some Minish Cap. Minish Cap is top 2 2D Zelda games for me. So this goes above Link's Awakening. Now, do I put it in A tier above Link's Awakening, or does this deserve S tier? Again, played this on my 3DS. It was such a fun time. I think the sprites, the art style, the visuals is absolutely timeless. It looks great. It would be cool if this game got a remake someday. I don't know how they would improve the visuals, even if they gave it a Link's Awakening art style, like Echoes of Wisdom. This game's not even made by Nintendo, it's made by Capcom, but it still feels like a Zelda made by the Zelda team. It's that high quality. I'm scared that my S tier category is going to be really huge. So I almost want to put it in A tier, because I feel like there's gonna be too many games in my S tier. But let's keep it in S tier and we'll put it at the bottom of S tier for now. Tingle. This is the, I think this game was exclusive to Japan. Never played it, but, it's a Tingle game, so it's S. Like, I don't even have to play it to realize it's S tier. Like, do I have to say anything else? Twilight Princess. I, have an interesting relationship with Twilight Princess. I did play this game. I did not play the remake. I played the original Wii version of this game. And I used to not like this game that much because I felt it was a little too similar to, it just felt like Ocarina of Time again. Nintendo really wanted to pander to the people, like, to nostalgia, to the people who love Ocarina of Time. Because after Wind Waker came out, you know, people were, like, complaining about this game being too much for little kids. The art style is for children, yada, yada, yada. So they doubled down to, like, let's make the Zelda fans happy and make a Zelda game just like the Zelda game everybody loves, Ocarina of Time. And so that makes this game lose a little bit of its identity because of how similar it is to Ocarina of Time. It retreads a lot of the same grounds, which is sounding familiar. A lot of people say the same thing about Tears of the Kingdom with Breath of the Wild. But I feel like in recent years, I've grown to like the game more. I'm going to put it, I like it more than Majora's Mask. I don't think I can put this in S tier. Does it go above Link's Awakening? Twilight Princess has some great music, some really cool aesthetics. I used to be a hater on the art style, but I've grown to enjoy the art style a bit more too in recent years. The final dungeon was great. There's some cool stuff here. This is kind of crazy for me to think this, but I think I'm gonna put this above Link's Awakening. Do my eyes deceive me? Is that another Tingle game exclusive to Japan? Easy S tier. Easy S tier. Put it up there. Next up, we have Phantom Hourglass. And unfortunately, I've never played this game. I would absolutely love to play this game someday. Playing this game isn't easy. It's not on the Switch, like most Zelda games actually are on the Switch, and thanks to Nintendo Online. Yeah, hopefully they remake that game someday so I can play it. Link's Crossbow Training. I don't think I played this game. I feel like maybe I did play this game. I have, like, weird memories. I never owned this game, but I think I may have played this game at a friend's house. I definitely didn't play it enough to really give it a rating, so we'll put it down here. Another Tingle game? How many Tingle games came out? I was only aware of one of them. What? Spirit Tracks. Okay, again, just like Phantom Hourglass, I did not play this game. I was not a Zelda fan back when the DS was like big, and I became a Zelda fan during the 3DS, when the 3DS came out, 2011, 2012. I've heard say these games are not that great, but I'd still love to play them someday. Maybe if Nintendo does remake them, they can improve them. And here we go, we have the GOAT, Skyward Sword. I played the Wii version of this game and the remake on the Switch, and this was my first ever Zelda game. I picked this game up because I saw it get good reviews on a Game Informer magazine, and I was like, let me try this game out. I saw Link and Zelda and Ganondorf and Smash Brothers, and I wanted to try out a Zelda game. This was my very first Zelda game, and it was fantastic. Completely changed my brain chemistry, changed my entire life. I wouldn't be playing Zelda games today, maybe, if it wasn't for Skyward Sword. I love you, Tingle, but Skyward Sword is the GOAT. The music in this game is great. I love the atmosphere, the art style, the characters. The dungeons are some of the best in the entire Zelda series. The bosses imprisoned, maybe not you, but the bosses are great. I do really enjoy the motion controls. I think it's a lot of fun. When you fight an enemy in most Zelda games, it's kind of just press button. Yay, I win. Just gotta wait for the right time to strike. Press button, win. No, this game turns every encounter with an enemy into like a little bit of puzzle you have to figure out. You have to wait, just slice in the right way, figure out their patterns. It's a lot of fun, and I like Skyward Sword. It's not perfect. Going to the same 3 areas multiple times is unfortunate. Maybe the late game drags on a bit, but nostalgia tells me this is the greatest game of all time because I wouldn't be playing Zelda games without this game. That's common with a lot of people. Your first time playing a game in a series is always, well, probably, maybe not always. There's exceptions, but probably ends up for a lot of people being their favorite. So whatever your first Zelda game was, I would not be surprised if that's your favorite Zelda game. Now we got a link between worlds. This is actually, when I said, you may have remembered, when I was talking about Minish Cap, top 2 2D Zelda games of all time, this is the other one. I think I like A Link Between Worlds more than the Minish Cap. And do I like it more than Wind Waker? I don't think so. It basically took, A Link to the Past as a basis and completely revolutionized kind of like the way you think about Zelda games with the whole renting item system. Now you don't have like dungeon-specific items. You kind of like rent out an item from Ravio, and you go to the dungeon and use the items. It really opened up a lot of freedom because you could approach the dungeons in like any order you wanted to. It gave a lot of freedom. This is like the pre-Breath of the Wild. Like this is Nintendo testing the waters for a very free and open Zelda game that lets you do whatever you want. Before Breath of the Wild came out. It's a great game. The dungeons are great. The story is great. The plot twist great. Music fantastic. Go play it. Next up, Hyrule Warriors, the original, not Age of Calamity. And surprisingly, I've never played this game. Triforce Heroes. Again, this is a game I surprisingly haven't played since I was a big Zelda fan when both of these games came out. But I didn't pick them up because they were not mainline Zelda games and there were spin-offs, and I just wasn't all that interested in the spin-off Zelda games. Next up, what? Zelda Twilight Princess Picross?
Hello everyone, Derek here with My Nintendo Picross, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, a My Nintendo exclusive game that you can earn with 1,000 platinum points.
So it's just Picross, but Twilight Princess themed. But anyways, if you can't tell, I've never played this game. Hey, Breath of the Wild. Similarly to Skyward Sword and how it changed my life, Breath of the Wild really did change my life because my YouTube channel would not be nearly as successful without this game. When this game first came out, it was so exciting. This was during the peak of my Zelda fanboyism. I was hyping up this game, telling all my friends about this game. This is gonna be the greatest game ever made. And when it came out, it kind of was the greatest game ever made at the time. And some people may say it still is one of the greatest games of all time. I think this game was quite revolutionary, completely changed the Zelda series. The Zelda format was changed forever after this game. I'm putting it, in A tier, which may come to a shock that it's not S tier for many of you. But here's the thing. The Zelda games that I grew up with and fell in love with, that made me fall in love with the Zelda series, are the Zelda games of the classic Zelda formula. These games are the games that made me a Zelda fan, and this game is very different from those games. I think this game is better than these games for making YouTube videos on, and this game is so fun for making YouTube content due to the freedom, but it just didn't leave as big of an impact on me in an emotional way. It gave a real impact on my life with my YouTube channel, but an emotional impact, I don't really look at Breath of the Wild to like, man, I want to play that game again. I've spent 6 years of my life playing this game for YouTube content, and I'm kind of burnt out on it right now. I'm thinking probably the reason for that, I really think, is honestly, genuinely, the story. By the time the credits rolled on Skyward Sword, on Ocarina of Time, my mind was like blown. I cried at the end of Skyward Sword, but I kind of didn't feel much when I finished Breath of the Wild. Story just didn't grab me in the same way. Next up, Cadence of Hyrule. This is, I know some people consider this to be a Zelda game. Does it even have the word Zelda in the title? I don't think so. It's very different. It's a spin-off. It's not made by the Zelda team. It's made by like an indie dev team or something. I don't really know too much about this game. Never played it though. Age of Calamity. I have an entire playthrough on my YouTube channel, the base game and the DLC, and I think it's a great playthrough. I think it might be one of the best Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity playthroughs on YouTube. Totally no bias, by the way. But I have good memories making that playthrough. I had a lot of fun making the playthrough, but I didn't have that much fun playing the game. I do really like the story and the cutscenes. I like how this game has a lot of animated, fully voice acted cutscenes. I think something, you know, it did better than Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, so that is cool. But I basically played this game just to see the cutscenes. That's about it. I didn't really care for the gameplay. I'll put this. I could be really mean and put this above Majora's Mask. I think I had more fun with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity than Majora's Mask. This is gonna be a hot take, but I'm gonna put it there. Tears of the Kingdom, the most recent Zelda game. A lot of people want to know what I think about this game. Actually, you guys should know what I think about this game. I made an entire review video, and this game is very similar to Breath of the Wild, so I'm going to put it right next to Breath of the Wild. But am I going to put it after Breath of the Wild or before Breath of the Wild? Now, on one hand, Breath of the Wild is the more revolutionary game. Tears of the Kingdom, on the other hand, very similar to Breath of the Wild, a little too similar to Breath of the Wild in some ways. But as of right now, if you were to ask me if I had to play Breath of the Wild right now or Tears of the Kingdom right now, I would rather play Tears of the Kingdom right now. Spent 6 years of my life playing Breath of the Wild for YouTube videos, and I got super burnt out on that game because of that. And Tears of the Kingdom, it's still relatively new. There's still things in this game I haven't done yet. Still content I haven't seen. New things I'm learning every time I play this game. And I'm having a lot of fun making YouTube videos on this game. So I'm putting this above Breath of the Wild. I'm not going to put this quite into S tier because there's still a lot of annoying things in this game and how similar it is to Breath of the Wild. If this game was more unique, maybe I'd be able to put it up to S, but I'm going to put it top of A tier. And that's it, actually. Echoes of Wisdom hasn't come out yet, so, I mean, you play as Zelda in this game. Ew, who wants to play as a girl? B tier. Alright, let's fix our tier list. This is not the finalized tier list. We're obviously gonna move these games out of here because I haven't played them. And then move that game out of there too. Funny, we don't have a single game in D tier. Is there any other changes I want to make? I feel like if I were to give Majora's Mask a second chance, I'm pretty sure I'd like it a lot more. And even look at this, honestly, I might even do that. Actually.
2,000 years later.
All right, I'm tired of staring at this. I think I'm satisfied. This is it. This is nasty, but it's my opinion. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to check out my other videos. My name is Mr. Nice Guy, and I will talk to you later. Shoutouts to Ashton, Alistair, Allison, Mador, Jammy, Sada, Quinn, Ashwood S, Rescape, Happy Sammer, Nintendo Boy, Raymond, Finn, Lucas, Great Gaming Game, Darth Noodle, Twix, Sonny Dave, Brooke, and Lauren for supporting me on Patreon or being a member on my channel.